Have you ever read a book and sometimes something leapt off the page for you? I'm reading a book at the moment called The Compassionate Mind. That's by a man called Paul Gilbert. Paul is an academic, and he's writing from two viewpoints when he talks about the compassionate mind. One is from the physiological point of view, how our thoughts create emotions, sometimes very turbulent, sometimes unwelcome, sometimes welcome. For example, yesterday I had a very pleasant day with my wife and my family. But at the moment, what struck me about the book, if I come back to the book, was this idea of justice. And when I look at the world at the moment, there's a lot of anger going on, there's a lot of blame going on. And so the idea of justice is very relevant. And what Paul introduced me to, and other readers, of course, that read the book, was the idea that there are basically two kinds of justice. One is retribution, and the argument that he puts forward is that in the past, we use retribution. I mean, we would execute people, and in fact that still goes on in some parts of the world. That is retribution. An eye for an eye, and that kind of thing. And of course, we want to blame people. At the moment, Britain is in a wee bit of a mess with its split ideology between the socialists and the conservatives. And there's a great deal of blame going on, particularly with the Grenfell fire, blaming austerity for this blame and wanting retribution. This case, the focus of attention is on Theresa May. Retribution, let's get her out. She is the cause of it. And clearly she is not the cause of all of those problems. The other idea from retribution is one of restoration. And that was the idea that really leapt off the page for me. When I think about Nelson Mandela, he could have gone for retribution, 27 years in jail, but he didn't. He actually chose restoration. He actually chose reconciliation. He teamed up with Desmond Tutu, and this was absolutely brilliant. People that had committed pretty horrendous acts of violence on people that they were supposed to be protecting, wept openly when they were able to confess and release all the guilt and shame that they felt. So I really like this idea of restoration rather than retribution. I have a dear friend that he told me once he wanted to shoot all politicians, line them up against the wall and shoot them, which I thought was a bit stark. And I asked him, who would he replace them with? That's the ideology of retribution. It's not the ideology of restoration. Thank goodness there is a place where we can find restoration, and that's in our own mind, and that's basically how I'm going to end up this short little talk. My name is Joseph Garrity. I'm from the School of Mastery, and we're about helping people to learn about the nature of the mind. It's not highly academic. In fact, it's very practical. It's very simple. Learning how the physiology is really linked to the mind. So the way that we think will produce emotions. Change the way we think and everything changes. And there are some simple steps that you can do to change that. So if you're in a place where you think the world is guilty and you're in perhaps a mindset of retribution, let me promise you it's far more fruitful to reconcile, to restore, restoration, to restore your own mind to its primordial unity. If this does interest you, then you can visit us on Facebook, School of Mastery for Solutions. You can call us 091 871 904. We'd be delighted to have a free chat with you. Have a wonderful day.